Hello, welcome back to another video. I am in the car and it's raining, so I do apologise if you can hear that. Also, I'm in a car park and yeah, people keep looking at me, so it's being a little bit awkward. But today is my follow-up with my gynecologist. If you guys are new to my video, I had a laparoscopy in November 2021 and I had a 6-week follow-up. And the hope was in that 6-week follow-up that I could be discharged, let go, move on. And unfortunately that wasn't the case, and I was in quite a lot of pain. So my gynecologist said, let's book you in for another appointment all the way in April. And he said, you know, I really hope that, you know, you cancel this appointment because you don't need it anymore, or you get pregnant so there's no need to do a follow-up, etc. And we put that into the universe, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case. So I'm about to head into my appointment. It's at 3 o'clock. I've come armed with a 2-page A4 document listing literally every symptom, every issue that I've had since I've seen him in December, including things relating to the miscarriage. So we're going to be talking about 2 things today: my endometriosis and some of the new symptoms that I have developed, as well as the pregnancy, how that went in relation to the pain and obviously the miscarriage. So I've basically written him a timeline as well as a list of questions that I want to ask him, so that I leave that appointment feeling like everything's been covered, because I have gone to these appointments before, left and thought, oh my god, I didn't ask this, I didn't ask that. So yeah, I'm going in armed with this document, and yeah, hopefully I can get all the answers that I need today. So I'm gonna head into my appointment. Hopefully the weather picks up when I get back out, and then I'll give you an update on what the plan is going forward, what his suggestions are, etc. And yeah, fingers crossed I leave with a plan, because I've been so anxious about this appointment and leaving feeling like I don't really know where we're going from here. So I'm gonna leave you and leave you. It literally looks like, look at how dark it's gone. It literally looks like it's gonna just absolutely pour down, and I don't have a coat. So love that for me. I'm gonna head in now before I'm late, and then I will catch you guys up once I'm out of my appointment. Hi, this is editing Natalie from the future. I would just like to point out that I do indeed have something in my tooth. Now you would think, having done this a while, that I would check, but in this case I didn't. So if we could just look past the bit of spinach in my tooth, that would be great, because it doesn't detract from the meaning of the video. So just ignore the spinach, just enjoy. Hello, it is the next day, because by the time I got out of the hospital, got back in the car, etc., I was starving, and yeah, just didn't get to discuss what happened yesterday. But here we are, and it was a really, really good appointment. Like, it's not very often that I leave appointments and think that went really well, but we left with a plan, which is exactly what I needed. So as I mentioned yesterday, I went in with my 2 sides of A4, giving him a rundown of everything that had happened. I had loads of questions, and we'll start off by talking about sort of like the endometriosis side of things. So I discussed with him the fact that I'm still experiencing pain. First of all, rectal pain, because if you didn't know, my endometriosis was mostly around my bowel and I think it was my small colon, and there was a lot of work done on that during surgery, and unfortunately that rectal pain has not gone, and we're not sure whether that's related to the surgery or whether there's some endometriosis there that maybe was missed. So we talked about that, and also the fact that I've been having cramping when I go for a wee. So as you can imagine, going to the toilet is not a fun time for me, and he didn't obviously really have any answers, so he has suggested that I go for a second MRI. And on this MRI we're going to be looking for 2 things: obviously endometriosis and whether there's any deep infiltrating endometriosis, and we're also going to be looking for something called, I hope I'm going to say this right, adenomyosis. It's kind of like endometriosis, but endometriosis grows more like on the outside of your uterus, and it can grow like in the pelvic walls, like where mine was, around the bowel, around your ovaries, etc. Adenomyosis actually grows in the lining of your uterus. If I can find a picture, I will pop it up on the screen. Now, I have had an MRI before and I've had a laparoscopy, and it was never picked up then. However, some of the symptoms that I'm now describing are more in line with this rather than the endometriosis. So he's made the decision to send me for another MRI so we can have another look at what's going on, and then we can make a decision from there what we do next. So that was really good in terms of like the pain. He didn't do any examinations because he was like, I don't really see what we're going to benefit from this. So he said, let's just get you booked in for an MRI, have a look at what's going on and make a decision from there. And obviously the second thing that I wanted to discuss with him was my miscarriage. And bless him, he was so understanding. I obviously explained all the difficulties that I'd had at the emergency like pregnancy unit and how I was treated whilst I was there. I can't remember how much detail I gave in a previous video, but they were not very supportive. I didn't feel like I was listened to, and I told him all of that during this consultation. And he's actually an on-call doctor there, and he agreed that there's definitely been some issues with maybe some of the staff there who are new, undertrained, etc. So he has decided that from the minute I get pregnant next time, I am going to be prescribed progesterone, and he's actually going to put that in my patient letter so that my doctor knows that next time I get pregnant they need to prescribe me progesterone. And there was 2 different types. I think there was one from literally like as soon as I find out, and then I take it for a certain amount of time, and then there was a different one I can't remember. And he said, if your doctor isn't able to prescribe that, you come straight back to me and I will prescribe that for you. So that was really reassuring, because when I was describing what happened throughout my miscarriage, we both agreed that it sounded like a possible progesterone issue, and he said that there's no sort of harm in prescribing progesterone, so why not give it a go. And he was a little bit disappointed at the fact that this wasn't considered when I was going for those scans and tests at the emergency gynecology unit, but obviously there's nothing that we can do about that now. So that was one really good thing. I am going to be prescribed progesterone in my next pregnancy. And the second thing that he said was he doesn't want me to have that same experience again of having to ring up the emergency unit, go in, having unnecessary internals, etc. When you're bleeding, what you need is an ultrasound to see what's going on. So he's actually going to look at an ultrasound scan that I had at a private clinic. I had that at 8 weeks. So he's going to have a look at that scan just to see if he can see anything that might have caused the miscarriage. And he has said going forward, if I need any more scans, I am to ring up his secretary and he will get me on the list for an ultrasound. So I don't have to go through the normal channels. I go straight to him, he will speak to one of his team and he will get me seen, which is really good. And obviously I've still got that option to pay for the private scans as well, because he also works at that hospital, because he's the best and he's everywhere. So if you can hear next door's dog barking, literally barks all the time. So it was really good. I left there feeling like we've actually got a plan and able to move forward. So now I just need to wait for my MRI letter to say when that's going to be. And yeah, I can either wait for that MRI, see what the results are, and obviously when I say a plan going forward, the only forward that I can possibly see is surgery again, which I don't know how I feel about. Obviously, like, I would have the surgery again, but having not had it that long ago, like I only had it in November, I don't know how I feel about having it again so soon, because obviously when you have surgery that means scar tissue. But I guess we'd have to see from the MRI. And now I'm in a bit of a pickle where I'm like, do I wait for this or do I just carry on trying to conceive? Because obviously this is almost like a setback in our TTC journey. Like, waiting for these appointments takes so long that I'm a bit like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I try and conceive, but then they could find something wrong on the MRI? You know, it's really tricky. Can they do the MRI if I get pregnant? So I feel a little bit stuck, and this is like the worst place that I that I feel like I hate being stuck, but obviously I am still trying to track my ovulation. I'm still waiting for a period. Like, you know, it could take a couple of months anyway for me to be in a position to try, so I don't know. Anyway, that's just me sort of thinking out loud. So that is what happened during my gynecology appointment. It was a really positive one. So now we just do some more waiting. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update. I know it's a bit of a quick video, but I will obviously let you guys know when I go for my MRI and what the results are of that. I'm also going to chase my doctor for a ultrasound as well, because obviously I'm still in pain since the miscarriage, and I've also got another appointment coming up to remove my ectropions as well. So lots more appointments coming up, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you would like to follow along on this crazy TTC journey. I was literally speaking to my nail tech this morning saying, who said it was easy to get pregnant? Do you remember when you were in school and they were like, don't have sex, you'll get pregnant? Well, that isn't the case, is it? And that's literally what we're saying. Like, she also has like issues with endometriosis, etc. And I was just like, girl, like, it's so stressful. So yes, if you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like so I know that these are the kind of videos that you like to watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.